Okay, babes, happy Monday. I'm so excited to be here. I'm stepping in for Kimberly Greening today for our Sparking Plexus call. I was going to say team call, and that's what I should have said, but I'm so excited to be here. I haven't been here in a hot minute, and it's just good to be back. I love these team calls so much. I always leave feeling so much better and more motivated and driven to have a good week because it Mondays are hard for me. I go from a fun weekend with my family and my husband and my kids and just not doing much other than spending time with them. And so Monday is really hard for me because I go straight into the thick of laundry and being at like I don't know how many times children say mom in a day, but I told my husband it's got to be over 300, 3 to 400 a day. And it's like, what? And it's just nice to kind of zone out for this hour of time with each other for a space that I know that we're all here for a reason. So I'm really excited. But before we get started, does anyone have any shout outs for yourself or for your team or for what's going right in your life? Kim P, take it away.
I want to shout out Jessica Holtz for hosting this team call. Let's go.
You are so cute.
You are amazing. And I want to shout out Laura Calderon. She is off to an awesome start this month with a level 1 and a level 2. And this woman, I swear, goes to the mat for her customers. The way she shows up for her customers to fight for them
over there?
for
There's an outlet. There's an outlet.
Oh,
An outlet? Why are you an outlet?
We love each other nails.
Carly, just mute yourself.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know. I thought I was on mute.
The way she goes to the mat for her customers and just like always her customer service is like impeccable. So I just want to shout her out for the incredible ambassador that she is in so many ways.
so proud of you too. That is so awesome. Thank you, Kim P. Your shout out just got me all fired up. And thank you. And I have to give a shout out to both Carly and Autumn for helping me with this call. We're tackling it together. And I just want to say thank you to both of them and for all of you guys for showing up today. It is so hard to show up during the summer. And everyone has different busy lives. And we all have 24 hours a day and we still find time to be here. So just want to shout you all out. Does anyone have any other shout outs? And don't be shy, even if it's for yourself, you guys. Like, even if you feel that you've done something in this last week or last month, or you're working on something and you're feeling that improvement or progress, shout yourself out. Laura, go ahead.
I'm going to shout out Kim P for re-ranking Emerald this last month, and everybody on the team digging deep to help make that happen, and for incredible leadership as always.
Amazing, Kim P. That is so awesome. I cannot wait to celebrate you in Emerald City, baby, next week. So proud of you. Any other shout outs?
I have a shout out. I'll do.
Ellie, yes.
Can you hear me?
Baby. Yep.
Okay. So it's been a little bit quiet on my team lately, but this last week we got two new enrollments. One was from Stacy, and then another one was from Yvette. And then I have another girl who is wanting to sign up underneath me. So I just want to shout out them and also myself because although it's been quiet, like I'm still showing up, I'm still doing the things. Last week I reached out and did some reach outs that I haven't done in a while, and I got some good feedback from that. So, anyways, just keep showing up and doing the things because you never know who's watching and who is ready. So, anyways, that's it.
I love that. Kelly, thank you so much. And you're doing this in the thick of pregnancy too, which I know can be so challenging in itself. So I'm proud of you for showing up for you and for everyone around you. So, and you're so right. Like you just never know when someone's watching. And guys, I used to be that girl that used to watch. And there are still people watching. There's still Kim P's. There's still Jessica's and Carly's and Autumn's and Katie's and Laura's. Like we're all just watching, right? So there's gonna be other people watching us. So I'm just really, really proud of you. Okay, any other shout outs before we move on? Wait, Laura, go ahead. Yes, please.
I thought of a couple more. Okay, well, I do want to shout out Kelly because I noticed some changes in your social media presence and really some creative new content. So I don't know if you're aware of that. So I think it looks really good and it's fun to watch. And then I also wanted to mention the level one that I recently got was a no from, I look back from a conversation last August. She has said no to me in the past twice. So I just wanted to reiterate the no, meaning not yet, and not to give up on people, even though it's hard, because she came around, and what got her from our conversation to come around this time was the word cortisol. And I noticed because we're doing this cortisol group, a lot of us are participating in it and promoting it. Maybe that's what she needed to hear, obviously, because that's when she decided to jump on board. So those other times were just, she wasn't ready. She wasn't ready, but we keep showing up. She kept watching. And that's what got her was the word cortisol and getting her into that challenge. And then she finally is on board with the same products that I talked to her the first time about, but it wasn't her time. So that just hopefully strengthens the reasons why we keep showing up. And you never know when somebody's ready to hear it. That's the day they're either at their lowest or whatever. And she jumped on now. So just wanted to share that.
Thank you so much for that reminder. It's so often that we just like think, oh, it's a no forever, when really it's not. Like, it's just a no for a short time. People continue to watch. So thank you. Okay, we are going to shift some gears for a minute. And you guys, just so you know, our call today is only about 45 minutes. I have some things I want to share, and then I've asked a few leaders to help share some ideas of how to pivot into passion, but to also give yourself grace, because I think it's so often that we don't give ourselves enough grace or others, especially leading into a very busy time of life. In summer, no matter what role you have, things look busy, or people that you are working with may also be busy. Like, there's often times that I am texting someone or having a great conversation, or I think they're going to sign up, and then they ghost me. And I'm like, wait, we were having such a great conversation and now they're not replying to me. But little do I know, they're probably sunscreening their toddler at the pool. Like, I have to remember that I'm not the only person that's busy. So I hope those people also give me grace if it takes me a minute to reply, but also give those people that I'm helping grace in that same manner, and realizing they're not ghosting me, they're just busy. I've had to shift my mindset, because I've heard this a lot from a new builders, is I reach out to these people and then they never reply. But are you giving them that grace or that benefit of the doubt that they're just busy? Maybe they forgot, maybe their kid, you guys, there's so many times that my kids have my phone playing music on Spotify, and they'll read my text message and not even tell me that person messaged me. So then I'm like going through my phone like 4 days later, and I'm like, wait, Kim P texted me 4 days ago and I had no clue. So like, just give people the benefit of the doubt. But while we do this, I want to help come up with some ideas of how you can time block over the summer and even next week, you guys. Like, I want everyone that's going to convention, by raise of hands, if you're showing your face, who's going to convention? Kelly, are you going? Autumn's going. I don't know if Kelly's going. I don't know if she can hear me. But like, I want you to find those times when you are feeling busy or you're trying to be intentional with your time, to time block. I want you to enjoy convention. I want you to enjoy your time at the pool. I want you to enjoy summer. I want you to enjoy your walks and feel like you're being in person and you're there and you're passionate and you're engaged and not distracted by work. So these are some ideas that I've come up with that I'm going to practice over the next several weeks. You guys, we have 10 weeks of summer left. I think Kim P, didn't school just end for you guys in New York? Or has it been 2 weeks? Or are you guys still in school? You're still in school.
Yeah,
okay.
Kylie's last final is June 25th.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so a couple more weeks. So like, you're still in the grind of school, but like, everyone kind of ends school at different times of, the summer, but I really want to also focus this on the times that you guys are traveling, or the times that we are at convention, or maybe you're doing a Plexus retreat. I just want to help find ideas of how you can be creative with your time. So I've written down some, and I'm going to read them because I like intentionally put it on my notebook right here. But the first one I had was time block with intention. The summer schedules can feel very chaotic. So I want you to set a time to time block, even if that is 5 minutes. I want you to also apply this to maybe working out, maybe eating a healthier meal, maybe meditation, maybe a nap. Maybe that self-care for you is a 5-minute nap. But I want you to find a few times a week with a dedicated time for your business. That might look like 5 minutes. That might look like 30 minutes. Maybe that is while you are going potty, the bathroom, okay? Maybe that is on a 5-minute walk where you pull out your phone and respond to messages. What does that look like? It doesn't matter what time of day. If having the same time every day, which works better for me, doesn't work for you, then it doesn't matter what time of day. You could do early mornings, you could do nap time, you could do after dinner. Treat it like an appointment that you cannot miss. And if you miss it, you have to pay that little missed pay fee. I have tried to work my business in more of like, this is a commitment not to only to myself, but a business to like future. What do you want your future to look like in the next 6 months? Is that point growth? Is that a re-rank? Is that a incentive that you're going for? What does that look like? Maybe that's a trip with your husband, but you need that side cash to get there. What does that look like and how are you putting that time in? The second idea that I had was work smarter, not longer. I am so guilty of this. I will find myself being like, okay, I'm going to go post on 15 friends that are non-Plexus. And I find myself scrolling on Instagram or Facebook and I'm not doing anything what I committed myself to do. So really working longer, not smarter. Focus on income producing activities. This can be connecting with people. So how are you connecting with people? For example, I'm having my entire neighborhood over on the 22nd of June, 2 days after convention, you guys, to cultivate something. It has nothing to do with Plexus, but I'm trying to connect with humans, with people outside of a phone, outside of social media. People connect relationships and they connect with emotion, and that happens really beautifully in person. You can also do posting value-driven content. There are often times that I post something that doesn't bring value or like a plan to action. That's also another way to connect with people. And that can be like asking a question that's non-Plexus related. I just saw Andrea Delta just post about a Mexican restaurant of a good recommendation, and she had several comments. So finding that really good value-driven content. Kim P, did you have your hand raised? Oh, okay, just seeing things. Okay. Another thing is using summer into your advantage and not into your disadvantage. I always tell myself, I told Autumn this today, it's summer, I'm just going to be checked out. You guys, my kids are in club soccer. My daughter just started a national traveling soccer team. Like, we are going to be so busy. My son's in hockey, he's in baseball, he's in basketball. My little toddler says mom all day. Like, I could use all the excuses in the world, but I know that 30 minutes of commitment for my business is so important to not just me, but my family, my kids, and their legacy too. So using your summer in a social season. So for example, the barbecues, maybe a vacation, maybe meeting someone on the plane or in travel or at a gas station. And for me, I put in big caps, sport events. Connecting with people at sporting events, bringing my pink drink in a clear bottle, making it an easy way to have a conversation with someone else is so cool. That was the one thing I put. And then the last two that I'm going to share before I turn the time over to Carly is involve your family when you can. Let your kids help with organizing samples, labeling products, or creating fun behind the scenes social media content. My daughter is now 13 and she doesn't have her own social media, but she loves TikTok dances that she learns not from TikTok. I will not let her have TikTok right now, but this thing. And it's fun to see her cultivate that creative mind and helping me create something too. I've seen my really good friend who runs a very big gluten-free platform. She does not run any of it. She has thousands of followers. Her 13-year-old does it, and she sits right by her so that she sees what she's doing, but it makes her daughter feel special. It makes her daughter feel like she's doing something as part of her business, which is not even Plexus. She doesn't even take Plexus, but it's something that she loves to do with her daughter. And it's really fun because this content and reels that she's creating are actually better than my friends. And I would never tell her that. Maybe I would tell her that, but she's getting a ton of views, and it's coming from a different mind or creative mind. So let and allow your kids be part of your business. And it also can become a bonding moment. My Avery every day will check my project broadcast and be like, hey, Anna's messaging you back. What should I say back? And she's actually learning regimens better than I know them. So it's been really fun to have that bonding experience. And then lastly is give yourself grace and set realistic goals. And the reason why I bring this up again to kind of wrap out what I started is your pace may look different in the summer, and that is okay. Give yourself grace that sometimes it might feel a little more chaotic. It might not feel as peaceful, but finding those moments to create the peace will change the way you feel about your business. Maybe only choose 1 to 2 main business goals for the season and set consistent without pressure. I am really guilty at that too. I put a lot of pressure on myself, and I feel like I should be in the same pace that I am now that I am during the school year when I only have 1 kid at home. Just change your perspective on the pace that you're running. Progress is always still progress, right? Like even if we're only showing up 1% a day, every single time you're showing up 1% can absolutely change your business. So that's what I wanted to share. I'm going to turn the time over to Carly, and then I'll wrap up the.
Okay, sorry, I was trying to unmute you. Thank you for sharing all that, Jessica. I really like that, and I do appreciate always giving ourselves grace and knowing that there's, seasons of life for everything, and it's just great. I love what you guys are sharing. So, I am excited to share about this because most of you know the last few months it's been a little bit harder for me to be as intentional and active in my business as I would like. Back in September, my niece passed away at 3 months old from SIDS. It's really been devastating for our family. She was the most angel-like little baby. And they were also out of town at my other brother's house in Texas. It was just a whole thing. Loss is extremely hard. I know most of you know that. All of you should know that, I'm sure. And then the holiday season was really difficult because of that, because we lost her. And then, an emotional, sorry. It's been really hard. And then on New Year's Eve, my daughter started having seizures again, and she's still been having them since New Year's Eve. So I've spent months in a very tough emotional and mental state. And it has taken a toll on a lot of things in my life. And so, Plexus has been one of those things, and it's frustrating to me, and it's annoying that I'm I just want to keep going with my business. And I'm excited to talk about some of the things that I find help me with my passion and drive and getting back into that, like Jessica said. The first thing I think that's super important for all of us, if we start to kind of lose our way, is what is it that's causing you to do that? Find that first, obviously. Find what do you feel has given you maybe that lack of motivation or that lack of being intentional. And I know for me it is just having a lot of family issues and family crisis, and then you can figure out how to work through that. And like Jessica said, you're at your own pace. Some people might be able to work it through it faster, and some people might work through it slower, but it's understanding what is making that lack of motivation. Why are you not motivated? Is it because you feel like you have a lack of time? Is it because you feel like you don't know the products well? Is it because you don't like making reels, or you aren't doing these things as much as you used to? Find that first, and then that's what you can really work on. And I know for me, like I said, mine is just the little bit of the lack of emotional strength to focus on that. And so I'm trying to reshift my gears of, with the emotional strength I have, what can I do with that? How can I work with my business and give myself grace? And I think something that's important, sorry, I know I'm going to scoot over. Something that's important is, I heard this somewhere, and I like that it said, maybe it was from Christy or somebody in the business, don't be prideful enough to think you're the only one struggling. Everyone struggles. Everyone has those times of life that get to you, or that you're, not feeling like you're giving the right messages or posting the right things, or there's different things in your life. Don't be prideful enough to think that you're the only one struggling. There's so many people struggling, and we can work together to figure out how to get past those humps in life and find that motivation. So something else I wanted to share was, I have been watching the softball College World Series. I love softball. I played softball my whole life, and I love the College World Series. So there is a team, spoiler alert, hopefully everyone has watched the games if they care about it, but Texas won the championship, and I was so excited about it. But there's a girl, she's a catcher on Texas. She's like, throughout the season, she was awesome. She was like Big 12 Player of the Year. She had like the highest batting average in the country. Like she was an all-star. She got into the World Series and she had no hits throughout the World Series. 0 hits throughout the World Series. Here you have this big like star who's just going through a slump. They go through slumps in baseball and softball. And yet she was still up to bat, trying her best, swinging away, and doing her best to get back into like getting a hit, getting some motivation, getting some excitement. So I want to read just like there's a little article where it talks about how she, in one of their have to win games, she came up to bat, and the reporters asked the coach, like, why is she coming? Why don't you pinch hit for her? Why don't you have someone else in there? And how can this be your decision? Because this girl is hitting nothing. Like she's really sucked at the plate. And this is a really big moment. And even her teammates were behind her, which I thought was really cool. So she had not hit, this is part of the article, she had not hit in the postseason. She stepped into the box with runners on the corners. They were down by 1 going into the last inning. As she stepped into the box, they made a choice to intentionally walk her. They tried to intentionally walk her, even though she had been not hitting well at the plate. But this girl was so determined to hit. She swung at a pitch that was a little bit out of the strike zone, was not supposed to be a strike, and she ended up scoring those 2 runs, getting 2 RBIs to win the game. And she was asked, their team was asked, she continued to give momentum to her team, and a lot of players in that game fired me up, she said. It's a World Series, it's the championship. It's tight, but you're facing a good pitcher, and any momentum or energy helps. So she was feeding off of her team and continuing to believe in herself in the game that she's practiced her whole life. And I always find that to be so motivational with sports. I always find sports motivational in that sense. One more quote. It says, she's an All-American for a reason. 2 times at this point. The conference was really never goes down to just Reese, but she's a competitor and she works hard even through struggles to bat. And I thought that was really cool, as it shows that even through really hard times, and I relate totally to business, even through the times if you get to a certain spot in your business where it's really, you're in, it's gold or senior ruby, wherever you are, and then you hit a slump, and continuing to find that positivity and that motivation to believe in yourself that you can do this. You can do this, and you should not feel down on yourself if, this person ghosted you, or that person didn't respond to your post, or your views didn't get as much. There's always times like that in our business, but the most important thing is that we work through them and continue with our passion. There's a quote I liked too. It says, you must decide to believe that you can achieve success. Through all of our struggles, it's so important to remember those motivations, to keep a positive attitude, and think about in life how much life goes up and down. And I was thinking about that as far as like the batting average goes, like I said, and life in general as of parenting. I don't know who on this call or who's listening, think to yourself, who has told their kids something, and then for the rest of their life so far, they've done it every time. And they've just gone like they're just doing it every time, right? Who has been on a diet and just lost weight, never had any setbacks, just continued to lose weight and feel amazing all the time? Everything in life goes up and down. And I think that's so important when we enter our businesses to realize that, and that when we are in those down slumps, we just continue to get up to bat, so to speak. Continue to get yourself motivated to do what you can do. There's some other things I want to talk about too. Like I said, you have to have the right attitude, and you have to just take action. We have one person on my team. She keeps getting off course because she gets frustrated if things aren't done in order. So like she doesn't like to post something that happened like today if she hasn't posted about what's been happening in the past. And I always tell her, like, it doesn't have to be perfect. You just have to do it. You just have to take action in your business and in your life, even through the slumps. And the same thing goes as like a parent, right? Just because my kids aren't listening to me doesn't mean I'm going to stop being a parent. It doesn't mean I'm going to be like, well, this isn't working. They're not listening to me. We have to keep going through slumps, and we do it in life. So let's also do it in our business. So last thing I want to say is that we in our business, this is a quote. I want to share this quote on the team page. And it says, we either win or we learn. And I think that's important for us in our business to remember that, even if we feel like we've lost points, even if we feel like, like I do, where I have not been as intentional as I want to be, I'm learning from that. I'm learning how to be more intentional, and I'm learning how to move past these emotional struggles in order to focus on helping others and getting back in my business and doing the things that I need to do. And we cannot wait. You have to find what is causing you that lack of motivation, work through it, and figure out how you can shift gears with that. There's a quote too that says, do the thing and then you will have the power. We don't say, wait for the power and then do that thing. So remember, throughout your business, if you feel like you're in a slump, if you feel like I just don't feel passion, I just don't feel motivated, you don't have to wait for passion or motivation to do something. Do it. And as you're doing it, you will remember where that passion comes from. That you love these products, that you love helping people, that you love the team, that you love feeling accomplished, that you love working from home or being able to be on vacation and work. Like you have that motivation inside you and that passion. That's why you started. So just get back to work and allow that passion to come. Don't feel like I have to be completely gung-ho to even do anything. It's all about just working through those slumps. Like it is, again, like I said, with the batting average, working through those slumps to be able to know that this is what we love to do. And in order to get ourselves motivated, you kind of just need to do the thing. Believe in yourself and do the thing and find what is unmotivating and twist it. Figure out how to make it your motivation, how to get motivated again through that. Like I said, with time and emotional strength, that's mine. So my biggest thing with my emotional strength is really refocusing on the why I want to share. And I want people to feel the way that I do. And I want people to be able to find their health. And I know that through that service, it will help me emotionally if I can help others. And so I can get outside of myself of what's giving me that setback right now in my life is my emotional strength. But knowing that as I share Plexus and help people, it will strengthen me emotionally because it's giving me that service. And, I'm finding my passion again. And that's a big driving factor for me. And so I hope that everybody can find their passion and their motivation and then just really work at it and just do the thing. Get it done. Okay, I'm done. Sorry.
Thanks, Carly. That was awesome. And I loved all the things that you were sharing. And I agree, like sometimes life is just crazy and you have to be where you're at and feel it and move on and keep going. So, okay, so I'm going to shift a little bit. So this one, I want to talk about surrender. So I've been reading a book called The Magic of Surrender by Kute Blackson. I don't know if any of you have read it, but it's been a really interesting insight for me. So I'll talk about it a little bit more. But first, I want you to do this. I want you to take a really big breath in through your nose, hold it, and then let go. Okay? Okay. You're here. Now, I want you to write in the chat what word describes how you're feeling at this very moment. anxious, peace, calm. Okay. It doesn't matter. For me, I'm probably anxious, but it's because I have to share this. But wherever you are, that's fine. That's perfect. And that's where you need to be. So now let me ask you this. When you hear the word surrender, what comes up for you? So if you want to unmute and say what comes up for you, or if you want to put it in the chat, just one word that describes or tells what comes up for you when you hear the word surrender. Relief. Let go, relief. Okay. So oftentimes, unclench, I like that. So oftentimes we think surrender means giving up, losing control, or weakness. For me, that's as I was listening to this book, that's what I first thought of was surrender was I'm letting go of control. I'm releasing things that I don't want to release. But surrender is actually strength. So it's choosing peace over pressure and trust over fear or over force. I think of even faith over fear. So surrender is not about giving up. It's about giving in to something wiser, deeper, and more aligned with your growth. Now, think about a moment in your life where something didn't go as planned. You had to let go of what you wanted, or instead walk through what was. For me, this was last year with my son. This last year was I wanted to do it my way, and it was me holding on as tight as I could and doing it my way and not letting the doctors tell me what they wanted to do. The cool thing was once I surrendered, once I let go of that, the bone marrow transplant saved him, literally saved his life. So I surrendered. The cool thing with this was it didn't just have to do with his health. It shifted my kids' relationships with each other. It actually helped my husband appreciate what I did at home a lot. Being 4 months on his own, it was a big change. So if you guys want to unmute for a second, if there is something that you want to share that you were holding on to super tight and then you decided to let go. We only have 5 minutes left, but I would love to hear if you have something that you saw because you surrendered, you saw more growth or more blessings or more benefit from it because you surrendered versus holding on. Does anybody have anything they want to share? And that's okay if nobody does. We'll just keep going. So the whole idea with this is if you have one of those experiences, even if you don't want to share it, what can you learn from it? What did you learn from it? So now I want to do this. I want everybody to hold up their hands really tight. Okay? Think of what you've been gripping on tightly to. What is something that you just want to control, or timelines or expectations? It could be weight, it could be whatever. So now I want you to take a few breaths. Now I want you to slowly open up your hand and release and feel what happens to that. That's what surrender feels like. So it's not empty, but you're open. You're open to possibilities. You're open to new things. It's not weak. It means you're ready to receive. So one really quick quote, and then I will finish up because I know we have to go. So actually, sorry, no, not yet. I'll give the quote at the very end. So if you could surrender one thing today, what would it be? I want you to think about that. If you don't want to put in the chat, that's fine. But maybe write it down so you know what that one thing is that you want to surrender. For me today, I want to surrender controlling what my kids do. And I say that because sometimes I get so frustrated because they just want to watch TV. But in reality, if that's that helps them to relax, I'm going to let them do that. They get their jobs done, they get their responsibilities done, but I'm going to let them do that because they are listening to what that they need today. So that's something that I want to surrender today. Now, surrender is a sacred strategy. It doesn't mean stop showing up. It doesn't mean stop doing it all in your own strength. It's trusting that even in your mess, there's a message. Even in the delays, there's direction. Every season has something to teach us when we stop resisting and start receiving. So now I want you to put, what is one word or phrase of how you feel now after our short time about surrender? Has it shifted? So if you want to put that in the chat. I love it. Opportunity, drive. For me, it's possibilities. So I'm going to end with this quote. When I let go of what I am, I become what I might be. I'm going to say it one more time. When I let go of what I am, I become what I might be. So I just think I love this idea. And I think it's a very interesting thing that we can look at. It's not only with our personal lives, but business and relationships and all the things. So surrendering to the possibilities of what could be and what can be. So thanks for everybody for participating. Thanks, Carly and Jess. And it was fun to have this opportunity to help with the call today. And thanks for everybody for participating. See you later.